What's good, Joe? What's good, Real Talk Squad? This is Miles, and you're listening to Real Talk with Miles Johnson, where we always keep it real. Today, we got a special guest. We are sitting down with Marcus Morris Sr., Philly native. Y'all know Philly's going to be in the building. NBA vet, known for his toughness, his skill, his outspoken nature. And he's really battled with some of the biggest stars in the game, play with some of the biggest stars in the game. So it is a pleasure to welcome him to Real Talk. How you feeling, man? It's been a crazy week.
Yeah, hell yeah. Hey, I'm feeling good. I'm outside. You know what I'm saying? I'm feeling good.
Got the palm trees in the back,
Yeah, they
sunny.
stay in the back. Yes, sir. You already know.
Yeah. So we gotta just talk about like just what's like the recent days been like for you.
Yeah.
Obviously, people, this is the first thing that they're thinking about right now, obviously. So could you just give the full picture of, what happened in Florida, the airport, and then
Yeah.
the aftermath, all of that?
All of that. Yeah, like I ain't gonna lie to you, brother. I don't really, I felt like it was a thing that happened. You know what I mean? I don't really want to like dwell on it or continue to talk about it, right? Like what I do want to do is more so shine light on just the young brothers that gamble, older people, the older mature people that gamble that don't really have a problem, but just understanding the dynamics of, gambling and being responsible with what you sign and what you receive and making sure that, you pay it back on time because, things like that can happen. Um, you know, it is what it is. Like, I take that on the chin. I'm from North Philly, man. Like I've been through a lot of tougher shit. But I know one thing that I am not, and that's a fraud. I really could have paid it back on time, and I should have paid it back on time to even having any hiccups like that and things that I'm doing and in my character and in my nature and a lot of people that look up to me and pursuing career off the court in the media and things like that. You never want negative press. You never want, people to look at you a certain way. But, we in the world today, man, well, listen, whatever comes out, people going to have a negative look. People going to take their own stories. They're going to run with it however they want to run with it. That's not in my DNA. I'm gonna move forward. I'm gonna keep being me. You know what I mean? I'm gonna keep going up, and God got His plan for us, and whatever that may be. And again, I just want to shine light on just the younger athletes. Just make sure you're careful with the things that you're doing, and you're protecting yourself and not letting things like that happen to you.
And what does it mean for you to be like a family man? And
Yeah,
also set that example like for your kids. Now I was seeing on Instagram, you say, look, I'm just glad I'm back with my kids right now and being a father.
yeah.
So speak on that.
You know what I mean? I'm mature, bro. Like I value, I have values, I have morals, in the way I move and, in the way I, approach life, the way I wake up every morning. I wasn't, I didn't have my father in my life. I had figures that helped me navigate through times, but I never had my father, right? So I see how much is important just being away from my kids a small amount of time by being an NBA player, right? Like that, you can just see different changes and you being there, you not being there. And it's just something that their father went through, man. But I held my head high, and it is what it is. I take it on the chin, and yeah, I'm gonna tell my kids about this. You know what I mean? Just make sure that they never make these type of mistakes. Or, I think if it go down to it, and the young people are gambling, I could just be one of the guys that had to go through something to make sure people be aware, or athletes, or people of my stature just be aware of those type of things. But now, being a father is most important to me, and that really hit home. Just talking about being locked up, like one of the things that I pride myself on is never like going to jail, never putting myself in a position to where I feel like I could be in handcuffs or taking my freedom away, and so that was the part that I think hurt the most.
And on a lighthearted note, I seen conversation with you and your brother, and you were
Yeah,
like, we was in the jail and you was coming out and they was clapping. You like just
clapping and
sit there
shit for
feeding
me.
out because I was
Yeah.
I was that was the bid. I was cracking up.
Yeah, nah, it was a funny situation, man. But like, believe it or not, like, and I won't, go into anybody's business. It's like people are still good people. You know what I'm saying? No matter like what they might have did or and things that happen because we've all made mistakes. We've all, no one's perfect, but just like being in there and just the interaction that they was trying to have with me and making sure that I was cool and knowing who I was, it was good from like a human side, man, from a personal side that people like that's even locked down in jail, like pay attention and understand who you are and where you come from because it could be any NBA player, right? Like I feel like they knew who I was just because of where I came from and the way I play basketball and and the trials of me getting to where I got to. You know what I mean? So that meant a lot more than me just walking through the jails and mean mugging. It was like it was love, and they were genuinely happy to see me get out of there.
That's great. And
So it was
in
funny as heck.
journalism, in journalism is that type of thing too, where it's like, all right, this is who the person is on the surface level, but all right, let me go ahead and like see like who the person is and like behind all the records, whatever the case may be. So we like touched on that. How is like life after ball?
Oh man, it's exciting. It ain't after ball because I still have an opportunity to play. I've had sat down with some teams this year, like still having the opportunity to get back out there in the NBA, right? Or, at a high level overseas. It's just more so I just feel like it's just, where I want to be, what I love doing. I don't want to be one of them guys that walk away and still have a lot left in the tank. So, I'm going back and forth with myself on that, right? So, but what I'm doing in journalism and what I'm doing in the media doesn't require me to stop playing basketball. Like I can still play and still, do stuff with First Take with Stephen A. Do some other shows that we've been going back and forth with me and my brother. So it doesn't take that away from it. It actually amplifies it because then I'm like really right there and I'm still understanding as a player. So I still have the opportunity, man. I'm just trying to figure out, what's best for me and my family.
It was great seeing you on Get Up, First Take, shows that I've been watching since middle school, high school, damn near. So that's what's up there. Walk us through like how that all came about, like, cause it's a lot of athletes in the space.
Yeah.
It's not a lot of athletes on First Take. Get Up, like you talking about like the top rated show for that 8 a.m. time slot for that 10 a.m. time slot. Walk us
Yeah.
through that.
Hey man, like it's funny because I never really thought about doing anything like far as podcasts, far as get up, first take. I never had that thought in my mind. I thought I was gonna play last year. So, I was focusing on like, entering my 14th year as a pro. I was gonna be with the Knicks. I'm not gonna go into that story. So my mind was set on that, right? Like when I didn't play and kind of got it dried up. I just try to like refocus my energies to other places. And, I started getting interested in talking about college basketball and started there. I did the Big 12 tournament at ESPN. They liked me, took a liking to me. I thought because of, just my realness, my swagger, and my real thoughts. Like, even if you don't agree with this is what I'm thinking, I'm never just saying it just to say it. I don't have to do that. I don't need to do that. You know what I mean? So I felt like ESPN us, we had a really good conversation and it came about. But one of my agent and my business partner, Yoni Noy, he just was like, man, just try it, right? Like just try it to see what happened. I hooked up with an agency. They gave me a shot at First Take, and it was just really like a shot. Like they were just like, yo, just get on, just see, 2 days, see if you like it or whatever. And I'm like, I tried, and then when I got on there, it was just comfortable, man. Like it just fit. It wasn't even a thing that I was trying hard to do. I was really just speaking from a basketball mind, and I enjoyed myself. And Stephen A. was a class act. Like he really like opened up the doors and was just like come in here, be comfortable, and kind of like just help me through the process. And I take my hat off to that man because he didn't have to do that. I could have got in there and he could have just you know wing it or try it. Like he really was like trying to help me and and trying to kind of critique me and just the whole ESPN team was like, we think you guys can, be really good. And they were very helpful. So, me and bro kept doing it. And then it was crazy because bro wasn't even coming to get on the show. He was more so coming to just support me.
Yeah,
And he was just sitting there and it was like, hey, you want to you want to try it? And he was like,
yeah,
shit. I might as well. It's something that I know, right? Like we're real sports guys, like football, basketball, baseball. Like we can really talk it, you know what I mean? Like down the line. So it's really more like it's simple. It's just making sure that you're speaking in the proper tones, right? Like making sure that you're not like stuttering and everybody can hear what you're saying and you're elaborating the correct way in a certain amount of time. You're not just a lot goes into all that, and they
Yep.
gave us the opportunity to actually learn and actually like mess up and actually like critique us and talk us through it and continue to get better and hopefully we can continue the relationship.
Nah, I relate to all of that because starting out having my own podcast and
Yeah,
journalism, sports media, it's like that public speaking stuff, that's
yeah,
not just
not
overnight.
easy. Yeah,
Just like the just
yeah,
basketball, whatever. Like, and I grew up having a speech
yeah.
impediment or not, like it's still
It's
practice, like
extremely
to
hard.
get to that
Exactly.
Stephen A level, to get to that Shannon,
Right.
whatever level. So you spoke on the mentorship that Stephen A brought to you. I like that a lot because folks outside they see the takes, they see him, very passionate, very energetic, but they
Yeah.
don't get to really peep how he's mentors certain people that has come on the show because not only
Right.
is he a host or somebody on air, but he's one of the executive producers of First Take.
Exactly. Hey, that's just like in basketball, man. Like in the locker room, you never really know what vets is in there sticking around and helping the younger guys. You know what I'm saying? Like we don't talk about that. We don't glorify. We only really glorify hot takes and misconceptions of people. But like this long time, I never really had a relationship with Stephen A. Like my wife came on, like he was very nice to my wife, and he liked me in the instance when it's basketball. When the lights go on, I'm a villain. I don't care. I'm from North Philly. But when I step off that court, I'm a father, I'm a businessman, I'm very intellectual. Like I'm not, you know what I mean? And I do a lot for my community, I do a lot for my family, but you'll never be able to see that because this is how I get paid. You know what I mean? Like this, like I won't give you that edge ever. It don't matter what it is, you know what I'm saying? So you can call me crazy, you call me wherever you want to call me in between them lines. And once I step out of them lines, I know who I am.
Talked about North Philly. Um, Grew up in Philly as well, West Philly, Overbrook. Talk about your roots in North Philly. Talk about just the battles with your brother. I know y'all had a bunch of one-on-ones together, or just like the culture of Philly. What it taught you, what you still
Yeah.
bring with you to this day.
Hey, like to be honest, bro, like me and bro, are like Philadelphia is like that's our whole background. I played in every league in Philly. I played in all the outside leagues. I played like everywhere you can name, right? Like my our goal wasn't to get to the NBA. We just genuinely love playing in front of people that we love, like proving people wrong, and what I mean. I feel like by us even like getting all that into us by the time we went to college, it helped us get to this level. But coming from North was like it was the best thing possible, man, because it was the roots that got me to where I was at. But growing up in the '90s, man, it was just a lot more love than it is now, right? So like I wouldn't say easier, but it was easier, right? Like I was younger, you know what I'm saying? It was more love, like the direction wasn't as blatant as it is now for some of these younger generational guys that's in North Philly and in the hood. Is just it was just a lot different, and I had a lot of people helping pushing me in the right direction and showing up at times that we needed guidance and things like that because we didn't start really like getting into basketball until like our ninth freshman year in high school, our ninth grade year. So we kind of started late, but we love sports in general, and we fit the mold. So we continued to work, and then when we got to Kansas, I mean, it kind of turned over for us because a lot of people didn't even, it was like when we said Kansas, they couldn't believe we was going to Kansas. Shit, I couldn't believe I was going to Kansas, and what I mean, getting there and always having that target of like proving people wrong, proving people wrong, proving people wrong. Like that's just what me and bro always we always stood on because Philly comes with the good side and Philly comes with the bad side. You know what I'm saying? And the bad
Yep.
side is the hate and the people that don't want to see you do it. And then you have a small knit group, that's with you, that's pushing you to that level. And we took that with us everywhere. And going from Philly, going to Kansas, going to the NBA, it made me really well rounded with people and knowing how to, talk to people, knowing how to be in any environment and being able to adapt to, whoever I'm around, right, and still be myself in these environments and grow and show people who I really am inside. And Philly is no us without that, without Philly.
Are you gonna play in the Rump Classic?
I don't know, man. I'm tired of kicking ass. Like, you know who the best player? Listen, ask me who the best player that ever played in the rump. Like, it's me. I'm the only two-time MVP. Like, it is no like, what I mean, I don't want to take it from bro because if I wasn't doing it, bro, it'd have been bro. You know what I'm saying? But I do it because I just love to have the community come out, man. Like the outpour from the city is just always amazing, and I just feel like when me and bro, play in it, it just it's better and it's better. And we're gonna bring people out to come see it, and it's a 20th anniversary. I'm just like, it's only right,
Oh
huh?
man, you gotta slide that joint.
It's only
Yeah.
right. I need backup this year though, bro. I'm getting a little bit older.
Yeah. I went it was either 22 or 23, but it was when it was like Maxi's first year. It was
Okay,
Maxi's
yeah, I
first
think he
year.
played with us, right?
Yeah, it was
Mhm.
popping. It was popping for
Yeah,
sure.
we brought
Line
him out, man.
super
We
long.
bring him out, man. We bring him out.
That's
You
tough.
already know how we get down.
Yeah, you mentioned that you were surprised about going to Kansas. So like
Yeah.
what was like the other schools that you and your brother also like were weighing during, that time?
All the Philly schools like LaSalle, Temple, Nova, like you got to get them love. That's our hometown schools, right? And we should just watch other guys grow up, in the city as well, and go to certain schools, and it just, no knock to the schools, it just wasn't producing pros. So we was just like, man, that was just kind of like the backdrop. It's like, can we get to the NBA? Well, not can we get to the NBA? Can it even provide us if we got better in college to get to the NBA? And that again, that wasn't what me and my brother was looking at. It was like a mentor of ours, and that's what he was basing on our college choice on. You know what I mean? Like, because we would have been okay with going to LaSalle. We would have been okay with like a Temple. Like that would have been fine for us because we'd have been able to stay in front of our roots. But when he started like speaking and trying to guide us to like these teams, and I think he's seen something that if we did get away from Philadelphia and get away from what we were comfortable with, it kind of would have helped to get us to where we needed to get to, right? But end of the day, I'm gonna tell you a short story. National championship, I never forget it. Memphis, Kansas was playing. We was down to our two schools, and the two schools was Memphis and Kansas, and bro liked the Memphis and I liked the Kansas. So we was going back and forth like, well, how do we decide on what school? Because we going together, it don't matter. We gonna figure this shit out, right? So I remember it like it was yesterday. I'm down at grandma's house on North Philly, box TV. We in the living room, everybody around. We looking at each other like, man, we gotta decide on what school we need to go to. We're looking at the game. We shake hands. Whoever won, we going to the school. And a lot of crazy shit happened. And Mario Chalmers hit a three to take it into overtime. So that really like that crazy shot, turned our life into what it is now. And you're looking at 14-year pros, and you know what I'm saying. It's just that's been around us, our entire life.
Shout out Mario Chalmers, man.
Yeah,
Shout
shit
out
was
Mario
crazy,
Chalmers.
man, crazy. But we could have went to Memphis too. I just think it was a different path. Memphis, and then you talking about Kansas. It's just two different kind of what I mean situations.
Well, speaking of something different, Lawrence, Kansas compared to Philly, just like being in college, all of
Yeah,
that, like how is that difference? Because you talk about a difference, that's night and day.
no, that was night and day. But like I said, man, that was like the best thing that probably ever happened to us when it came to like just being social, just understanding different like cultures, and we wasn't around as many white people. I mean, we was in North Philly. I went to prep try, so it just wasn't that. It just wasn't what our environment was. Was showing us, right. So like getting around them, or getting around, in Kansas around the white people because it's predominantly white. Um, it showed a different side, man. It was just like it's not as much hate, you know what I mean? Like you get to know people, you kind of like tighten up a little bit and try to walk a narrow path because coming from where we come from, it's just a lot of negativity. It's a lot of things that's happening. You know what I mean? It's a lot of directions that people push you into, but having your friends and having, certain things that can change your life in an instance. Going to Kansas kind of like grew us up. And I looked at the coaches on the staff was like, almost like fathers, right? Like they were disciplining us. They was making the best out of, making us the best, version of ourselves and the best athletes that we possibly could be. Because there was times I was at Kansas and I couldn't believe the I was doing. Like I couldn't believe how hard we was actually working. It wasn't even like the shit we was doing. If I said it to like athletes, they would look at me crazy. Like there's no way I
Mhm.
was doing that. And I was like, nah, every day. And I used to hate my coach, and I used to be like, yo, like why the is you working it so hard? You know what I'm saying? Like it just didn't make sense. And then once it started to, you never really kind of see, where things going when it's extremely hard. You always try to look for outs and you try to look away from it, but then it's always like preparing you, right? It's preparing you for whatever that may be. And ours was the NBA. And when I got, to the NBA and I was able to do certain things, so I stick so long because everything, nothing, matter of fact, compares to what I did when I was in Kansas. Nothing as far as working hard. So I felt like it was like almost impossible to stop us. So, what I mean? I always had that mentality. He built that in us, it was tough love. And, that again, I go back to it, man. That was the best decision we ever made.
And to the NBA, 2011, you
Yeah.
and your brother get drafted. How was draft night? Like, did y'all have a sense of where y'all was going or all of that, or just yeah, just walk us through draft night?
Yeah. Another, twin. We just got some twin shit, man. Like the two teams that drafted us was the only teams that we actually worked out for together. You know what I'm saying? And like those was the two teams. And Keith knew who he wanted to go to Phoenix, and I knew I wanted to go to Houston. So it was just like it just happened like organically, man. Like it just, flowed through the draft. And as we, tumbling closer to the two teams, ironically, that we both really wanted to go to, it felt like that. And Keith, he went 13th, I went 14th. But now looking back, and I'm gonna say this because I love my draft. I love, my career. I loved everything about it. I love the hardships. I love going to the G League and fighting my way out to making a ton of money. I should have never fucked with Daryl Morey. Like I shouldn't have did. He was in Houston when I got drafted there, and I come all the way back around from all the way that, and he's still on some bullshit with me. So I should have never did that, man. Shout out to him, man, because he made my career go, in the direction that he wanted to go and dictating certain things and not going. Bro, I'm on the call. Please, can I get back to you? You want to say what's up? Oh my God.
What's
You want to
good?
say
Say
what's
what's
up?
up to the Real Talk Squad.
Say
What's
what's
up?
up, Brady Bob. All right, go ahead, man. Let me get up.
We're talking about Daryl Morey because I ain't gonna lie, like us in Philly, like I mean, you already know because you in Philly, like we not
Yeah,
rocking with Morey right now. We not
yeah,
rocking with him. We appreciate his draft knowledge.
yeah,
I'm a big VJ guy. I was happy we got him. McCain stealing him in the lottery, getting Maxi. I don't know how he dropped to Philly. So I
yeah,
give him draft, but I just feel like, and most of the people in Philly are like, all right, you gave MB an extension when it was murky on if he's even healthy. You
yeah,
give Paul George over 200 M's. Now, Paul George, get your money because Clippers wasn't going to do that. Get your money. But Daryl Morey, like, what's going on? Like, I feel like he just loves that superstar 100 type of thing. But yeah, what's your thoughts on Morey and also to be for let me add, there's been a lot of talk on like he be lying to players, like lying to James Harden or lying to
come on,
like
bro.
different
Come on, come
players.
on.
It's always been something. So like, yeah, what's your thoughts on Daryl Morey? Just to expand on what you already said.
To be honest, man, Daryl Morey is a really good dude, man. Like he's one of those guys that like is just very interesting on how much he tries on like making a team. It's hard to like put my words on because like if I'm smart or if I'm a GM, I want to kind of keep a nucleus together. I kind of want to keep a team together so they have the camaraderie to get to these spots. You might lose, when James Harden you lost in the quarterfinals. You kind of want to run that back. It was that close, right? Like that's the only part that I don't agree with the things he do of flipping guys in and out. Paul George. I thought PG fit in Philly. For sure. If he was healthy, I thought it would look better. Embiid is a generational talent. So like, what's the risk of not paying him, right? Like him going somewhere else and not being injured and being somebody else's, dominant force to get them a championship. So it's a lot of risk in not making certain decisions that Daryl Murray has to make, right? So, when it comes to like if I was a GM and putting my GM hat on, yeah, I think, if I can't win, I still want to sell some type of tickets, right? Like it's still a business at the end of the day. The nucleus that he has now with Maxi, PG, and big fella, everybody healthy. I think that works, right? You don't have no egos. You think they're really good players. It'd be interesting to see the people that he actually puts around him with the new CBA. But I just think he tries too far in the future and not like really understanding what it takes to build a team and keep a team together. Come on,
Were you
baby.
always when you were younger, were you maybe you are still now a Sixers fan? So I talked to Dion Waiters and he's like, nah, like I'm an Eagles fan now, but
Yeah.
like I ain't really like kind of like being in the league, kind of just like, make it a little bit weird. But are you a Sixers fan or were you one like growing up?
Nah, I was an AI fan. I never was a Sixer fan. I was AI to everything. You know what I'm saying? No matter what team he went to play on, but I like the Bulls. I was an Indiana fan. I just never was a Sixer fan because I just always felt like they used to, and there's no knock to none of the players that played in Philly, but I used to always felt like they was trying to leave him on the island, like they wasn't really trying to get him no great players to play beside him. You know what I'm saying? Shaq got Kobe, like get him somebody that's dominant, like and A. McKee and Eric Snow and all them dudes. They was good players, they was solid players, but I was, I'm talking about like should have got somebody that can, that can get him over that hump. So no, I never was a Sixer fan, man.
Yeah, I was Sixers. I'm a Sixers fan now, unfortunately, but I'm
Yeah,
an Eagles fan, so it's kind of like it all balance out. Now I tell my
hell yeah.
friends, I'm like, it would have been too perfect if the Sixers worked out and the Eagles were winning these chips and all this stuff. So as long as the
What?
Eagles winning, bro, I'm cool.
This is the first time I was able to go to game, bro. I was at every game. I'm a diehard Eagles fan. You can't tell me can't read no stats. You can't go back to anything. I was with the Eagles way back then when I could even, you know what I'm saying? So like I'm just all about Philly, son. I'm on the phone. I know you see me on the phone. Go ahead.
What's your Eagles Mount Rushmore?
What was you
Top
saying?
four players.
Quarterbacks or just players? Players.
Just players, yeah.
I'm biased, man, because like people help us win the chip, people help didn't win the chip, so it's like it's kind of hard for me to say. You know what I mean? If I'm just taking out just my favorite, I'm gonna go with Brian Dawkins. So I gotta go with B Dawkins. So, my receiver one is crazy because he wasn't like the best Eagles receiver. You know what I'm saying? But like I'm gonna put AJ Brown up there. I'm just the AJ Brown is just my guy, man.
Yeah,
Like he's, what I mean, I feel like he already he get a lot of yards, but we are running offense. I feel like he could probably get me some more touches, some more TDs, but like just facing on the system. My QB like Randall Cunningham, man. Like I just, what I mean, when I seen Randall, just the shit it made the way it made me feel in the '90s is just, what I mean, that was just hit that he was my guy. So I got Brian Dawkins. That's a receiver. I got and a lot of people gonna look at me crazy on this, but shit, I gotta say it, Saquon Barkley, bro. Like he only been there a year, but bro,
yeah.
like he's
He's
different.
different.
You know what I'm saying? He's
He's different.
different, and we've had great players, great receivers, great, but those two for me, and even though it is a short amount of time, like Saquon, you know what I mean? That's just it right there.
Yeah. No, I feel like B Dog is great. I didn't get
Yeah,
to see him like in his prime. I was much younger.
yeah,
Obviously, age. I think AJ's like when it's all said and done. like he'll end up being like the best receiver in franchise history. I don't even
Right.
feel like that's a hot
Exactly.
take. Like, um, if T.O. played like his whole entire career, like, all right, that'd be different. But we
Yeah.
already know what AJ is all about. Randall Cunningham, I didn't get to watch him at all. I've seen
Yeah.
some highlights, and I got some viewers that's like more like low 20s and they teens too. Could you
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
in the 90s just set up just like how great was Randall Cunningham? Because like
Hey,
we see the highlights. Like, just tell us.
bro, Randall Cunningham was like he kind of like lined it up for like the Jalen Hurts and the Donovan McNabbs. Like he was the quarterback with the swag that was moving, running, throwing bombs. You know what I mean? And that 12 just like if you had that 12 on in the 90s, you was him. You know what I'm saying? It was just the time and difference. Whoever you look at now, you didn't have social media. It was just like a feel that you had because you knew every Sunday Randall, you know what I mean, was coming up there and he gave the Eagles a chance to win. It's just so different now because social media kind of like watered down the experience of like only getting to see somebody once a week. You know what I'm saying? Or only getting to see like them step on that field, that certain type of swagger, and not like be in their lives every day. They got to post. You got to see. You know what I mean? It kind of took it away a little bit. But Randall Cunningham, he was that guy, and I'm in both areas. Like I'm in the area of the social media. I'm in the, I was right on the cuffs. I was born in '89, so anybody that came up or that was through there, I would have been able to know who's who, you know what I mean? But Randall Cunningham for me, like he was the first person that made me started like really like liking the Eagles and you know what I mean, and liking, the style of the bird.
Yeah, I think for me it was definitely Mike Vick. Like
Yeah,
when somebody at my church like was relayed to him in some ways. I just remember the earliest memories were like the bombs to Deshaun Jackson, even like the way that Shady would like hold the ball. I'm like, oh, he
yeah,
different. And he
yeah,
different. And
yeah,
then like when Chip came and like messed the whole team up, like
yeah.
again, I'm not even real.
That, that,
I'm like, so
that shit fucked my
it
head
still
up,
don't make
man.
sense now.
Yeah,
It's
when he
still
did that, when Chip came, I stopped being an Eagles fan for like 2 years. Like I ain't
yeah,
understand what the fuck he was doing. Like I was
yeah.
like, yo, what? Like he trading all like so called tough guys we had. He traded all of them. I'm like, yo,
All
what are
of it.
you doing? He traded Deshaun Jackson. I'm like, what are you doing? Like, yo, these these the guys in Philly. Like, are you? You know what I mean? And the one
He's a
thing that I
guy.
think that a lot of people forget, you have to have guys that fit the city. Like, yes, people have like, you sometimes you might have to deal with some extra shit. That's everybody, man. Like, you know what I mean? Like, but Philly expresses that. Philly loves that toughness. Philly love that fight in players. You gotta be better at identifying who's gonna be good in Philadelphia, basketball and football.
I agree. Even like in football, I'm still pissed off about CJ being traded because I'm
Oh
like,
man.
he's a dog. Like,
Oh
you talk
man.
about Philly personified.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
talk about flipping that switch on the field, on the court,
Yeah.
all off the field,
Yeah.
off the court. That's him.
Right.
That's him. Like,
Right.
and we gonna see because this second, I've been looking at camp and I'm like, all right,
Yeah.
Makuba, he injured a little bit. Sidney Brown, yeah, I'm
Yeah.
hoping, like we going. It was a
Sometimes,
gamble to let
bro,
him go.
coaches get caught up in their systems. I do know that as a professional player, you get caught up in the system. You don't understand about having veteran players. Like, yes, they might do some like that's a part of the game. Sometimes you got to throw some shit in the game. Like that's the that's the way. You know what I'm saying? Throw some shit in the game. It ain't going right. We know he gonna make a play because any time we needed a play to be made, dog was coming flying 10 yards out, 15 yards out, making a play. You know what I'm saying? And I'm happy that you spoke on him because I want them to know like the Philadelphian fans, like, bro, they love CJ. Like, you know what I'm saying? I know that happened in the the organization, but like Philly fans, along on myself, like I was in disbelief when it happened. But he wanted Chip there, and anytime he able to come back and feel the love, like Philly always gonna be open arms. You know what I'm saying? But I do think that the Eagles defense needs some veterans. I ain't saying that it got to be like super old guys, but you still need them guys to get taught. Like you still need that player aspect of been there before. You know what I'm saying? Coaches can't teach you everything. Like coaches can't teach you again, give you experience on that field when it's shit not going right for you. You know what I'm saying? It's a certain level of film and of whereabout you need to be, but then you still need to like have them veterans that can get with the young guys, show them, you know what I mean, what's going on. And I thought the Eagles did a great job of that last year, like having
Mhm.
Fletch, having all them, teaching all them, you know, keeping them around after he retired, and then keeping, you know what I mean, keeping the others around after they retire to kind of be with the players. And you could tell like Jay Carter got a great system around him. You know what I'm saying? Like that they got a our front four, like they got a great system around them, and our defense from prior players, players that played, was being able to come back and be around them, and I think that's important on and off the field.
Yeah, like I agree. Jalen Carter. I mean, I feel like Philly was the best place that he could have gone. Obviously, he had the off-field issues and made him slide in the draft. Otherwise, he would have been number one overall pick. He slides to us. It's like all his homies here, everybody in Georgia here, and it was
Georgia
Fletch's
boys,
last year. That was
uh,
Fletch last year.
yeah,
Like, so not
our Georgia boys be hooping, boy.
hooping,
They be
hooping.
hooping, bro. Like bro. Like we do a really good job of drafting. I can say that. You know what I'm saying? And like JC dropping you know in the first round, like that's you know sometimes things happens for those reasons, right? Like sometimes you know people look at it as oh he this and he that. He dropped to a great organization that gave him a chance to play, and now when it's time to get that bag, who gonna remember that he dropped in the draft? Like they gonna remember that and be like, damn, you know, now that was a blessing in disguise. You know what I'm saying? So,
Exactly.
you know, I always look at it like that, man. Like you know, one day it might rain, but shit, it's gonna be sunny, way more than big. You know what I'm saying? So,
Hell yeah. Like guys like N'Kobe and Nolan, Jordan Davis, all these guys.
JD
Those are
looked
his
good. He
brothers and
lost all
after
that weight.
Georgia.
JD looked good. He lost all that weight for Kent. Woo,
Yeah,
man,
26 for
yo,
sure.
we
I
gonna be
gotta ask
nice.
you, uh, speaking of like guys getting paid, news today, Micah Parsons
Yeah,
requesting a trade. I did a video on that. I gotta get your thoughts on Micah Parsons wanting out because we're looking at this like Jerry Jones at it again.
yeah,
Trying to just, I mean, you know how the sports media work. Every
yeah.
show is gonna, the first thing they gonna have is Jerry Jones and the Cowboys. So it's like,
Right.
Jerry, that's what you want,
Yeah,
but you're gonna sacrifice your locker room for some clicks and some engagement. You already got the most profitable organization in the world.
yeah, yeah. So in this situation, like I'm looking at it both. I'm looking at it from a business wise and Jerry Jones. Regardless of Michael Parsons there or not, I'm still gonna have the most, you know what I mean, the most just the star gonna sell itself. It don't matter who you put on that field, right? When you talk about business, when you talk about superstars and Michael Parsons and possibly losing him to somebody, you know we got our eye open. I don't know if we can get him, but you know if we can make some shake, you in trouble, Jerry. You in trouble. You heard me? So
Oh,
I'm going back and forth with just saying, like, sometimes, man, like players gonna take it in their own hands, bro. Like, I've done what I need to do on the field. You know what I mean? I've been a leader. I've waited patiently. I read everything he said. Like, he's been a true professional. Like, he's even went to war with some of his brothers over that star. You know what I'm saying? And
mhm.
like, really probably lost relationships and came out and win that cats over that star. And when it's time for you to just do what you're supposed to do, you dragging your feet, man, and that puts a sour taste in his mouth, and especially working hard and standing up for Dallas Cowboys. So, if I'm Micah, man, I get where he's coming from, man. Like I really do. Like I did what I need to do. I'm one of the best players, if not the best defensive player in the league. I deserve my money. I deserved it on day one. I understood the holdout, to make sure that you become number one and what I mean, get the highest paid. But all right, enough's enough. We trying to focus on, next year. We trying to focus on like being better and dealing with us the first game of the season because I don't know why the fuck they gave him that, but you know what I mean, and just moving forward. But I mean, it's unfortunate. It'd be interesting to see if it actually happens, though.
Yeah, no, for
Yeah,
sure. Because I'm still leaning more towards like, this all what Jerry want, the attention, and then same thing last year. Dak was about to get traded or
on the
franchise
phone.
tag, whatever. Then they give Dak the bag. So
What?
I
On the
still think
phone.
that. I still think that they'll give
Yeah.
Micah like the bag, but the trade scenarios are interesting. Like my last point before we go somewhere else on the Eagles. Uh, if you're a Harry Roseman, would you trade a first round pick and Nolan Smith for Micah Parsons?
Is that a real question? I
That's a
fuck with
real
Nolan
question.
Smith. I fuck with Nolan Smith. I fuck with him. But fucking right. You talking about Micah Person? I trade my damn self. Listen, I'm a realist.
Yeah,
If when they ask me
thank you.
trades about basketball and they said, "Would you trade you for X, Y, and Z?" If it's working or if that player is that caliber, you damn right I'm going to trade him. There's no question. There's no question.
I agree. I saw it on Twitter and I'm like,
Mm,
yes, I would.
yeah.
And look, if you got it, talking about a generational type of talent,
Come on.
for
Come on.
like,
Come
you're
on.
gonna have to. Well, same way the Lakers they got Luca, and to get Luca they had to trade Anthony Davis.
Yep.
Anthony Davis ain't no
Exactly.
scrub. He's
Right.
amazing, all
Exactly.
time great player. To get an all time great player, you gotta trade. So you can't trade
Got to
him for a
trade a
bag of
good
chips.
player, right? But
So
Nolan Smith had a great run in the playoffs, man, and he's a up and coming talent. But shit, if I'm Nolan Smith and I'm going to the Cowboys, I'm looking at it as a opportunity to do the same thing, right? Like I think Nolan Smith is really good, but the other guys I think overshadows him a little bit. You know what I mean? As far as like his real value, so I mean, it possibly could be a good thing for both of us. But if we get him, hey man, say man, back
oh
to
my
back
god, back to
easily,
back, back
back
to
to
back.
back,
I mean,
no
it's here.
question.
Micah, Phillies fan, Sixers fan. I mean, went to Penn State. Like, I just come back home, cuz come back home.
They're gonna do the same thing they did with Saquon. If
Same
he go to
thing.
the if he go to the Eagles, I won't be able to sleep. I won't be able to sleep.
That's what Jerry gonna say.
Exactly.
Yo,
Exactly.
that's
Exactly.
hilarious. That's hilarious. Back to the NBA and your career.
Yeah.
Uh, you've played for was it 8 teams? Played for eight
Yeah.
teams.
Yeah.
Played for 8 teams. Competed in several deep playoff runs with the Clippers, the Celtics, etc. What's been your favorite stop up to this point and why?
All I gotta say at the crib, you know what I'm saying? I'm playing in Philly. I'm playing in front of my people. Like every shot, every big shot, every game, every present, like that shit means more just because, that's where I'm from. I know most of these people coming in, I mean, obviously not all of them, but like a lot of them coming to see me just to, see this time of, knowing I'm not gonna be there that long or be in the league that long and have this opportunity to play in front of my family. I think that was major. I like the New York, the Knicks, like the Garden. As you can expect, I averaged 20 points that year. So, shit, that was exciting to me. But a lot of the stops, man, it's crazy because the stops that I really like is like all the stops that kind of fit my personality. You know what I'm saying? It fits my personality. I was in Boston. Like it
Hmm.
fits my personality. I was in Detroit. It fits my personality. I was in Cleveland. It fits my personality. You know what I'm saying? In those places, like I felt like the fans, just the aura of the city, the roughness, like it always gave me like a little feel of being at the crib. You know what I'm saying? So, but number one is got to be Philly, just because that's home.
That's what's up. Yeah, gotta talk about that. Like, what did it mean for you to play for the Sixers, play for your
Everything.
hometown team? I know everybody, cousins, aunts, everybody going to the game, want to see you. So uh when you put that Sixers jersey on, like how did that feel?
I was in disbelief, bro. Like honestly, like I couldn't believe it because I've had a long career, man, ups and downs. One thing I can say is that when you look at back at my career, it's like I always produced. Like I never went anywhere, and it just was like, oh, it's a flat stop. Man, I've always produced. I've always left my mark, and like to be able to do that in front of your people that watch you grow, like that means more. Like my entire career, I was bouncing around and playing in different spots, but it just felt like when I got home it felt like it just meant more. And I had my moments, right? So I had my times where I hit some big shots, I helped the team, but I just wish I could have like if I could have just ended it, which I know it's not going to happen now because Daryl Morey, he in the seat and something with me and him, you know what I mean? It just has always been that way. So, but I thought I played well. I thought I helped the team. I thought even if when we did get traded with Pat Bev, I thought we probably could have had a shot to actually make some noise in the playoffs. And it just was one of those moves that was up in the air. But playing there was everything for me.
That's what's up. That's what's up. Gotta talk about just the different stops that you were at. Playing in Boston, the one guy you play with, well, two guys you play with, Jason Tatum, Jalen Brown.
Yeah,
Seeing them last season win a championship, you see the heights that Jason Tatum has reached. Jalen Brown win Finals MVP.
yeah,
When you look at that Boston squad, and they're going to retool this year. But what's your thoughts on Jason Tatum's ascension, Jalen Brown's ascension since you play with them? Because they were young, they were still getting to it when they were younger, but
yeah,
now they
yeah.
got to another level.
I'm not even surprised, bro. Like when I was there, they was young, but they was dogs. They always was focused. They always worked hard. Like, I'm not even surprised. Like JT, quick story about him with me and him. Like, that's really my guy. I put my armor on him when he came in. To the Celtics when he got drafted there. That was actually my first year there, and he had the opportunity to actually play and grow. And and we used to play ones after every practice. And he'd tell you, I used to kick his ass, but he used to kick my ass too. And I was like, that was the first rookie that could really get over on me or could really score on me, right? And he would score and he would talk big shit. And I was like, oh no, he really liked that. You know what I'm saying? Like he really liked that. He wasn't backing down. He was in that bitch every day. He wanted that. He wanted wreck every day. And same thing with JB. Like JB will always just, you could just tell, like he will always just put himself in those big time moments, like just the way he looked at the game. You know what I mean? So when it came, he was just like, you knew he was going to be ready for it. You knew he was going to get to that point. And I think the dynamic of them is really great because I felt like sometimes JT get overshadowed JB, and I feel like that makes him work harder. Like me and my brother used to have that dynamic where sometimes I used to be better than him, or they used to always talk about me more, and he used to push him to work harder because it's like no, we both can get it done. You know what I'm saying? So I feel like that dynamic actually works for them, and it'd be interesting to see what they do since JT's injury, but I know he's going to bounce back. And it's just hopefully they keep that together to see how far they can take it.
And then with the Clippers, Kawhi
Mhm.
Leonard, Paul
Yep.
George, some fantastic wings. Pretty cool that Kawhi was drafted what like a spot or two right after you, and
Yeah.
now y'all was teammates, all of that. And so, how is that playing with Kawhi? You know, he was so quiet, all this stuff. Paul George as well. Just how is that? You know, being teammates with them in LA.
Oh man, that shit was nice, man. Those was two of my one of my both of my favorite teammates. Not my favorite, but two of the favorite teammates. Of superstars that I played with. P, quiet dude, man. Love to work, love to win. He really wants to win, and Kawhi's the same, man. Like we all around the same age, so I watched them grow. We kind of grow together. We tried to play the Clippers. We tried to bring the Clippers their first championship, and it was unfortunate that we couldn't bring the Clippers a championship, and it was just some unfortunate injuries that he had. But as a player, what I mean, like dude works extremely hard. Like dude really, what I mean, like he really cares for the game, and it's good to see him back out there and injury free.
For sure. Got a couple questions left. Appreciate you hopping on, all of that,
Yeah,
man. Start bench cut.
but
We got Prime Mello, Prime KD, Prime Kawhi.
damn, uh, I'm a. Hey, that's tough, bro. I'm going with cutting Kawhi. I'm
Kind of
I'm
Kawhi.
I'm cutting Kawhi, even though he played both sides of the ball. You know what I mean? I'm cutting Kawhi because them other two monsters they score it's just too well. You know what? And I'm gonna get the heads to Melo. I'm gonna start Melo. I'm gonna bring
Ooh,
KD off the bench. Melo. Shit, I when I was young, that's the only player I used to watch. Like Melo was my guy, you know what I mean? And he scored it crazy. KD scored crazy too. They already know that's just my preference, you know what I mean? Both, crazy, amazing players, amazing scorers. If we just talking about straight buckets, you know what I mean? So yeah, yeah. It might not be, it might not be everybody's, cup of tea, but like the shit Melo used to do, like I always was a fan of.
That's what's up. I think with ring culture, Melo has like gone down in lists when
Yeah,
people forget like how great he was and
exactly.
how great of a scorer he was, all of that. So that's great to hear too. And one of the last John's top five players of all time to
Top
you.
five.
Yeah,
Um, Michael Jordan, LeBron James, Kobe Bryant, Shaquille O'Neal, Wilt Chamberlain.
I like that. I like that. I like that.
That's everybody has their own list, and the six I say Kyrie Irving, but that's just my polar
Oh, you
choice.
got you
Like,
gotta talk
yeah,
about that. You gotta talk.
I never been around like a lot all the players in back in the day, but like the things I've seen Kyrie do like amazed me to the point where I was just like, yo, this dude, like he one of the best players that ever played this game. Like the shit he did, I've never seen anybody be able to do, or just try or move or anything. But it's great players, and again, this is my preference. This is my list. My son might not agree with me, but it is what it is.
Yes, sir. And last one. Who is the best trash talker that you played against?
That I played against our teammates and I played against. I probably say Pat Bev. Yeah,
That's a
he
great one.
nonstop, like nonstop practice, games, like motherfucker be on the bus, he talking shit. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like it's just like that's just, that's who he is, man. But he's one of them dudes like you love to have on your team, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, yeah. Well, Marcus, I appreciate you hopping on. It's been a pleasure.
My
Clearing up some
God.
stuff, but then also just talking about growing up in Philly, at Kansas,
Yes,
career in the
sir.
NBA. So it's a pleasure. I wish you the best in sports media too, and in the basketball world as well.
Yes, sir, man. Appreciate you having me. Hey man, keep doing your thing, my brother.
Thank you.
You got a bright future, man. I think black media, continue to keep our own, build our own, man. And anytime, throughout the season, because we both Eagle fans, you hit me, I jump on and we can chop it up again.
Let's do it.